Hello there. It's the 14th of July 2026, Tuesday, 12 p.m. and 34 minutes. Today I have a guest.
Hello.
And he agreed to be on my log, and um, I'll explain a little bit. So I have all these skills on my website, and I consider memory training to be the most valuable, because if you learn something on my website and you don't forget it, that is like super good. But I also have telekinesis practice, immortality practice, money earning practices, language practices, remote viewing practices, which is actually to be able to see with your mind in the past, the future, the present, anywhere in the universe. Then you have hypnosis. You have subclasses like behavioral hypnosis, erotic hypnosis, and many more subclasses such as past life regression hypnosis. Then you have the Wim Hof method, which is, in my opinion, like a minor healing skill, like in video games, because you can reduce inflammation, you can take control over your autoimmune system, you can battle disease. So it's like video games, a minor healing skill. And the casting time takes around 5 minutes. Then you have strength training, which is calisthenics but developed by prisoners in Alcatraz, and it's like a hidden way to be stronger than a bodybuilder. You might have seen Anatoly, which is a TikToker, which goes to like these buff guys who are lifting weights, and he's like 2 heads smaller.
Oh, Antonelli?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he lives well. This is this kind of training where you get strong and not just for show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. He's funny, man.
yes.
Those big old guys.
And then you have pranic living, which is how to live off prana, so you don't have to eat or drink anymore. And I think that's how far I know, but there are a multitude of positive effects, like higher energy and stuff. I don't know a lot, I'm still studying it, but one day I'll be able to do it. Then you have dating and self improvement, which is to become your best self, so that you're attractive by being better than your day before, which is also important. And you have mathematics, which is uh, how to calculate fast in your mind without calculator. And then you have the earth card, which is astral projection, and a bunch of other things like chakras, demon exorcising, many subjects. So Matthew, now that I have given you a rundown, what do you think is the most important to study first?
Mm, I don't know. Which one's the mind one?
Which kind of mind?
I would have to say this one right there.
This one, the memory training?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it too, because once you know it, you can't forget it. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's really important.
Well, it becomes like second nature to you.
Yes.
You're not gonna forget it. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. Okay. So there you have it. near in memory, and you can do a game, and I will program the virtual reality in the coming months, and then you can play a memory game. You can already play memory games here, like memorizing numbers or memorizing names and faces, which needs an update, but see, it's like Susan Moore for the president. Ronald Reagan, yes.
Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
Look at Ron
Yes.
and Barbara. Their war against drugs as they're bringing it into the country.
Yes.
They brought it through the front door and give it to all the gangs, and they took it out the back. But we got a war.
Yes. All right. All the best. Hello there. It's the 15th of July 2026, a Wednesday, 2 p.m. and 16 minutes. Today, I want to talk a bit about my quest, one of my quests, and that is to prove to the psychiatry that psychic abilities are real. So, 13 years ago, I had some enlightening experiences. I could remote view without knowing what it was. I could travel dimensions while my body is in this dimension, but my mind is somewhere else. And I said, like, this could aid humanity a lot. And so the logical thing I did was going to a hospital. I said, like, here's my ID. Please research my psychic abilities. And so I went to the doctor, to the psychiatrist, because they're like, and it's like, okay, I'm listening. Well, to start off, I can memorize a lot. And it's like, okay, what can you memorize? I say a deck of cards, for example, under 5 minutes by watching each card one time. And he's like, I don't have a deck of cards. I'm gonna write down numbers. And I'm like, I can't remember numbers that well. He says, it's the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. So I made a mistake. And it's like, okay, you're schizophrenic. And so 13 years have passed. I've met many psychiatrists. And after a while, I'm like, I forgot this quest. But now I'm back on my feet again, and I've learned a lot. I know what to say now, so that the psychiatrist can discover these abilities. And my wish is that with the profiling of the psychiatrist, that they say, like, okay, he has abilities and he has schizophrenia, because they'll never let it go. And that there is more to be discovered. So the way I was gonna do it is by delivering proof. I've done it before, like the first time I did the memory thing, I did it with another psychiatrist. Said, like, we're gonna each, me and you, the psychiatrist, are gonna write down on a piece of paper 20 objects. Then we're gonna switch our paper, and we have 1 minute. And we have 1 minute to study each other's 20 objects. So 1 minute passes, we're both studying. And then it was the time to say them in order. So I could do it from top to bottom, from bottom to top. I could any order. And she had like 10 or 12 words correct in different order. Said like, okay, this is already a proof that my memory works, right? And she's like, we're gonna hire the medication. And the reason why she did that is because I didn't take into account the ego of the psychiatrist. It's and my status. So I am a patient, she's a doctor. She is healthy, I am not. So I didn't take that into account, and they hired the medication again. What I notice is that each time I'm on a lower dose of medication or I don't take medication, my psychic abilities develop. And each time I'm sedated with the medication, these psychic abilities come at a stop. They flat out. It's a little bit higher, but it's mostly flat. And I discover things. I am in the thought world, in the astral plane, and I learn when I'm on a lower medication. But this, to explain this to a psychiatrist who only looks at the paper of the previous psychiatrist or at their DSM book is very difficult, because it's true that the DSM is correct. They see the symptoms, but they don't handle the cause. And the cause is spiritual. DSM-5 is physical. So they look at the brain, at the body, at the behavior, but they never go to the cause, what the psychotic person is actually saying. And so they don't want to enter that world. And so I thought like, okay, I have psychic abilities, and it's correct, these symptoms of the DSM-5 correspond with what I have physically, but the spiritual side is not being discussed. So what I'm gonna do is study these abilities and deliver proof. So, like memory training, I'm gonna deliver proof, but I'll keep into account the ego of the psychiatrist. I have to be able to communicate better, that he or she doesn't feel attacked. Like a patient saying they're healthy, that's not good. I have to actually switch through it a bit and say like, I'm a schizophrenic, but I can do this. And then they'll be more willing to listen to me. I can prove telekinesis by within 5 years. I can already prove memory, but the psychiatrists, it is a symptom that if you're psychotic, that you can't learn or remember, but that won't do it, because the psychiatrist will rationalize and give another diagnosis. So they won't. This is not sufficient to prove that there are psychic abilities. I've explained it earlier. They will hire the medication. They need more. Telekinesis, for example, I know that if I study it, I can do it. I've already given lessons on it, the first level, to be able to move a pendulum. And so I'll just demonstrate. So I'm not moving my hand, but I'm gonna instruct the pendulum to move with my mind. So first I command forward, backwards. as you can see, it's a little bit of energy I have. Now I instruct it to stand still. Okay, now left and right. Circle. As you can notice, my hand moves a little bit, but most of it is mental energy. The only way a psychiatrist can believe this, because they'll blame it on my hand movements, is by teaching the psychiatrist this. And that is not good, because the psychiatrist will never go into the world of the schizophrenic. If you want to study it, it's on my website, check it out. It's pretty decent. So for telekinesis, to prove this to science, I have to be able to move this, for example, and really like I can't do it yet. You've seen how much energy I got. I don't have a lot. But then again, the psychiatrist will rationalize. They will say it's a magic trick, you're not doing it correctly. And so the only way I can prove these things is by showing the next. For example, once I am good at remote viewing, I can say like, you go into this room, I go into that room, and I will, you write down the objective, the target, and I will remote view and guess what it is. And that is already a big proof where the psychiatrist cannot rationalize. And it's crazy I say this, because the psychiatrist is somebody who judges you based on your rationalizations and your behavior. And I've done it in the hospital. I filmed UFOs while I was out of the hospital, but I show it to the nurses. I say like, here's a video of UFOs. And they're like, you've edited it. You've used AI for this. And so it's very dangerous, because this system of psychiatry hinders growth. It hinders the realizations that people are people and they see things before you can, and you need each other. What they do with psychiatry is they suppress this level of discovery, which is very, very, very dangerous, and it alters the development of spiritual growth and also physical growth. There is a lot more to be discovered. I said it to my friend Joseph earlier. I wish I recorded our conversation, because there were many good pointers. I hope that one day it'll take me at least 5 years if the psychiatrist I'm gonna get is gonna stay with me, because each time I have a new psychiatrist, it's a reset. They don't look at you, they look at the paper, say like, he's schizophrenic. Okay, what do you want? And so whatever you say is in the bubble of I am a schizophrenic. And so I have to work with this psychiatrist and help them open up to new things. So I hope I can one day say like, hey, this is why I came to psychiatry. I have psychic abilities, please research them. And hopefully science will catch up. But I got really good at it. I can now convince the psychiatrist that whatever I'm doing with my website and video logs is healthy for me. So even though the subjects are out there, they find it a good hobby. So I got that far. It took a while because before they like, you're crazy, you're fucking stupid. So they don't say it literally, but you can sense it. Yeah, and so my hope is that because I am with a psychiatrist, I go there every month, they can say like, it's not schizophrenia, it is a psychic ability. If once I prove it, it will be my backing from a scientist, a doctor, that whatever I present is the actual real deal, not a magic trick, not rationalization, but real evidence. I hope that once I do that, because in the examples I gave, like when I showed the UFOs or the memory, you need to show it at many doctors or scientists. Because then it's not only the one doctor who observes it, but the others. And then they'll fucking put their brains together and they'll say like, oh yeah, if you see it, I can see it, and if one doctor can see it and I can't see it, I have to be able to see it. Because I have the status of a patient, and if I demonstrate telekinesis or anything, they won't do the effort to see what I studied. They will label it with a disease. It's really bizarre. I said it to my friend Joseph. I said like, instead of going to a doctor 13 years ago, I should have gone to a shaman. Really. But this positive side, because I am on these sedating medications, I have money that they pay me out of the health insurance, by which I have time to study these abilities. There was this one experiment I wanted to tell Joseph, but I forgot. It's about an experiment in America, in the USA, that 100 people wanted to, under the guidance of a doctor. The doctor knew all of these patients were healthy, and he said like, all of you go to the psychiatrists in different states and act a bit weird, like do like weird, and once they diagnosed you, stop acting weird. And what the psychiatrist did was, because he changed his behavior, it's a disease. It's a symptom of the DSM-5 or 4 at that time, I don't know. And it's a symptom. And when the psychiatrist showed like the original from the experiment, said like, these people are sane, they didn't believe it. So it's it's a broken system. It's not 100% correct. Well, no science ever is, but still. I notice that most patients in psychiatry, I talk to people in the hospital with patients, and they have a gift. They have a gift, and by not teaching the spiritual side, it diminishes. But they'll never forget it. If you spark it, they'll know. For example, one person said I changed my DNA. I had a similar experience. I didn't study it completely, but I noticed it. It's changing constantly, and you can program it. It's a science, and schizophrenic people discover this constantly, but the doctors will say like proof, and because the gift is not developed, they'll dismiss it as a mental disease. Or for example, pranic living. In pranic living, Brahma Manor says like, yeah, you will clear your cells and program yourself to be able to live off prana. This can be proven. So I will study this within the next years, and I will be able to live off prana and not having to eat or drink. And I know that Brahma Manor did this already for 6 years or more. He eats occasionally. I'm not certain, but I know he can live for a long period, which science thought was impossible without food and water, and I can prove this. These are things that are like hard proof. So once I convinced my psychiatrist enough, and I've studied the skill, I can prove this again. But I don't know for certain if they will be able to put their ego aside and say like, okay, there is something more, we'll study it finally. I'll see. All right, that's it. I had a dream. Where at the end of the dream, I was watching somebody putting on something in her hair in front of a mirror, and I wanted to take a picture, but my phone didn't work, and I got frustrated. And even the dream beings said like, ooh, what a weird energy, and they pushed me away from the dream. And I noticed it in my explanation with my frustration to the psychiatry. I give off the similar feeling. You'll notice it in short bursts, and if I do that, like, well, it pushes them away, and it's not good. It's like I'm being attacked, but I have not to show that, or that it damages me. If they say like, we don't believe you, it's dangerous, because a lot of my world and their world is built on that, and I'm like, wake up. that feeling, but very subtle. And something I wanted to mention, it's the same with my dream. I think my dream is telling me to notice this more.